Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear the shots, and now you can see them. We are back, and we are back into Group 2, where I'm hearing that G2 are absolutely owning it up. This is the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland qualifiers, where you're into the final round of what's effectively the semi-finals, despite the fact there is 4 groups. It makes it a little weird. But the top 5 teams will go through. Matchroom is joining me all day long for Europe and North America. Matchroom, the first time we saw these guys, they got, what, 21 kills in the first round?
It was pretty insane, all things considered. They just went absolutely crazy on this. Remember, there's about 80 people inside of each lobby. They killed a fourth of the lobby themselves, and they've been definitely holding on to that #1 spot. Now then, one thing to note, though, is I know that one of the crowd favorites is Team Kingwin. They are presently in 8th. Remember, it's only the top 5 that move on. Another fan favorite is Theater of Mayhem. They're in 7th. So right now what we're actually looking at is we have G2 that's holding down first place, Team Crimson in 2nd, Paradise is in 3rd, then we have Washed Up and Vidar are in actually the top 5 teams. So this is it. This is going to decide who actually makes it into the finals and who has a chance at going into IEM. So everything is on the line inside of this round. There's nothing to leave on the table. These squads all need to really step it up and try to see what they can get out of this, because if you look really on the points listing, whenever you look through about 4 through 10, there's only about 70 points difference between all of these guys. So a good solid performance can get you that spot into the finals.
38 kills so far for G2 Esports in those 2 games. 15 for Velen alone. That's pretty crazy. Let's have a look at the drop. It is going to be straight across the mid of the map. A decent spread for most people, and that does mean there is a massive clump of people heading towards Georgia Pole.
And yes, we always talk about it. Everybody loves to go over towards Georgia Pole. It's one of the more favorite spots for all of these competitive players. We're probably going to see a pretty decent split coming across, where we'll see several squads opting into the northern side, usually 2 to 3. One maybe going crates, one going to the southern area next to all the duplexes, but they are all stacked up on top of each other right now. Looks like they're trying to get a feel for who's going to drop where, and a lot of them are already committed to a southern drop. Oh my gosh, D-Man. This looks like it's going to be about 4 or 5 squads all on southern Georgia Pool. These guys have to pull out really hard and really fast, and they're not. They're all committing into this. This is going to be an absolute cluster up here, as everybody's going to have to fight their way out of southern Georgia Pool.
Godfred's found an AKM straight away. That could be lethal, and he's immediately pushing the house. Going straight over to Red's Baguette. Let's get into God. He's going to come around the corner. He's against the shotgun, though. Oh, the shotgun shots miss from Reds. And now Reds, I believe, is from one of the high-up squads that have been doing so well today. But either way, he is down already. Godfred doing work, and this is going to make a massive impact. Fu Manchu, he's going to get chased down. He gets knocked. Richie finishes him off. Why would you use a grenade? Why not just punch him in the head, man? Just finish him off with a single bullet.
Style points.
He's
Like
missed.
my favorite thing to do is and missed with the grenade on top of that. But yeah, you never do the Viking funeral. Whenever you get somebody down, you just throw the Molotov on them and walk away, leave them to burn to death. That's my de facto way to go. But now with this little bit of skirmish, there's not a lot of loot to be had between these squads that have dropped. You can see really it's just the one that's on the far northern side where D-Man, I guess your homage is up there. So we can see that's Maria and Zeth and Pocky. They're going to be able to get some decent loot out of this, but these ones that are all posted up right next to these duplexes are kind of right on top of each other and having to make do with what they've got.
Well, we still have, what, 4 squads? 4 squads around here, despite the fact Icor and Fudat are a long way off now, so they're okay. Regis just took a big hit. It's basically a cross-building battle right now, because everybody actually has some weapons. I kind of want to first-person one of them, but I just don't know which one, so I'm just going to stick with this cross-house shot at the moment. Godfred's going for it. That's the man we want to follow. Godfred's going for the push. He's going to try and go up the house. He's got an AKM. He knows there's someone here, and it's the person who's got down! Ooh. Down by the 1911 pistol! And then Borgen gets down by Schofter in the back. Godfred's blushes there. Didn't have a vest or helmet, so very ballsy play. And Borgen's now going for the push, so they know that they've got to push in. Borgen, this is risky. He's just going to go straight in. He's got a Scarel.
That was so interesting. Shay pulled up onto the wall and saw Borgen move across, but didn't take any shots over into this. So it looks like Shay's going to go for a reposition, maybe just try to get a res back up onto his teammate. But this has led to a very awkward fight. Now remember, the more downs, the more deaths that happen here are really just going to play more for this squad that's to the north, because they're already positioning to make use of this. Maria's already on the outside flank, playing along this wall, waiting for whoever wins this fight.
Shay has moved in. He's on the opposite squad of Godfred, so I think he's looking for him here. He's trying to find him right now. He's like, where the hell's he hiding? There. He's going to get his teammate up.
And this is a little bit of a quiet before the storm right now, is based off of the way everybody is kind of positioned inside of here. Borg's just kind of playing inside the bathroom, waiting for the pushes to come in towards him. And nobody's really had a chance to acquire any meds, so they're going to have to make do with what they've got. Godfrey slowly bleeding out off to the side over there. I think it's all just based off of Borgen at this point. You can see on the backside of this, Rich is back up, but he hasn't had a chance to really play on this. It looks like he's just potentially trying to get a res back up onto his friend. And yes, they do get that. This is turned into a very long skirmish, as there we go. Borgen is finally taken down and killed.
So that's just Rich and Anti-Krunden remaining in this crazy, crazy battle. And while this has all been playing out, don't forget, D-Man, Porky, etc. have been over at the apartments just behind them. They're just like, they're happy to fight this out. Let's have a look around while this continues, because there has been, obviously there's a lot going on around the map. School, by the way, and Rozhok was completely occupied. Kinguin went there, nobody else went there.
Look at where the circle is at. It's a military-based circle, so all that fighting that's happening up in Georgia Pool, 2 minutes. These guys still have to loot, acquire vehicles, and make their way down towards military base. All these skirmishes that are happening to the north are just absolutely terrible for these guys because they're not going to have the tools necessary to really get into the late game. You can see that multiple squads are already hard pushing on the military base, trying to cut out their little swath of real estate, say, this is where I want to fight at.
Velen is already there, yet I can see the rest of his team are way above Milta. Actually in prison right now. So Velen's on the crossroads at the bridge. So he's on his own at the moment. He does have 2 people coming towards him. As I was mentioned, so you got Kinguin who need a good finish. They are in School and Rozhok. They've had that themselves. Theatre of Mayhem also need a good finish. They're in Yasnaya, so they've got Yasnaya to themselves. There is a team up in Kameshki. Would you believe it? They're still doing it. Oh, let's have another look. I can see shots. I'm still keeping the camera angle here. Scurry's getting pushed out. Where are they going to shot? Is this the other squad that's come up? It is. Is this the other squad that's going to involve now? So Shay was caught unaware. Porky's just going to run straight between them as well. Not really knowing what's going on.
And Scurry runs back over into Riches and Anti-Krunden. This has just turned really, really bad for the squad that was originally doing a good job on winning this. Remember, they still had 4 people up and active and knocked the other squad down to just 2, but that 2-man squad did manage to retreat back to these red buildings off to the side, secured 1 kill into this. Look, Pocky's doing a push back in. This is turning really, really bad for Shuffler.
The question is, are they going to get caught in the back? I don't know. D-Man's going to make the push in. He sees Shuffler. Shuffler taken very low. D-Man's going to push in to try and finish the job. If he tries to hide in the corner, he will get down. Now, where's his teammate? It was Quebsy. He tries to come around the corner. He has to back away. Trying to put the shotgun shots through the bars. Doesn't work out too well. I think decent amount of damage on Porky, though.
But here we go. We've got a shot coming off the side. Maria managed to secure it. That flank finally paying off. So they have managed to secure all the kills onto that. But again, no vehicles. The circle has started to push in. Both these squads are in a very awkward spot. There is a UAZ. You can see Anti-Krunden is starting to make a push over towards it. It's like, okay, we have to get this. Got to go pick up my friend, and then we have to get out of here as quick as possible. Now then, looking around, there's not too many more vehicles really left. There is a UAZ way off on the western side of this road. But the squads that are posted up around these duplexes aren't going to be able to see anything off of this, so it's going to be a really rough push for them, all things considered. They're going to have to try to spread out and figure out where they can get some vehicles. But everybody has started making their press over towards military base now. As you can see, a lot of people hopping into vehicles, moving down from the far north, trying to figure out where they're wanting to go. And I think it's just going to come down to how we see people post up around military base. And if anybody actually opts into staying on the far side, maybe staying on Orangel proper, it looks like Gaxi and NBS's, they're going to post up around that little cliff edge on the northern side. Well, I guess I should say the southern side of the island.
While that was all happening, Velen did get took out at the crossroads, so that's G2 down a man. Obviously, they have, what, 530 points, so they're pretty comfortable regardless. Team Blank making the move across the river, it seems, so they're going to go across. River or sea, whatever you want to call it, the gulf between. Let's have a look. You can see all the rotations. I know a lot of people like to see these, but actually I want to look at what the battle is going on way north towards the bridge of Georgipol. It was a squad trying to get over, and they managed to down a couple there. They were holding... honestly, I don't even know why they're holding this point, but they're holding it.
I think it was an assumption that people were going to have to come back down based off of the way that the position was played. But it's a very awkward late hold, all things considered. They don't really have to move as of yet. The circle is still got some distance on them, so they can potentially make their way down. But
Opting into such a late push into a military base circle is really dangerous, specifically because you're going to see a lot of teams opt into getting some form of bridge camp on Sosnovka Island itself. They might just try to find some type of firing angle on it. They won't hold directly proper. But you can see that Niru is actually in a good position for it right now, holding that 3-story building, as there are going to be several vehicles actually coming across the bridge right now.
Let's see if he's going to start taking the shots. Looks like they're in a pretty good position. Are they going to get on the roof? Are they going to try and sit it out? No, they're just going to sit it out there. They're trading items at the moment, see exactly what they got. They're going to hear the vehicles coming in. And that is a bridge camp being set up, is it? No, they're going to continue pushing. Okay. I thought these guys were about to stop on the bridge. It would make sense. Instead, shots will go out. They're just going to peel off to the side. And where did Jeek just take that shot from?
They were posted up on the back of the vehicle. They were positioned to provide some level of cover fire on anybody out. Nice shot coming out with the Car 98. That's going to give them the ability to hop back in their vehicle and maneuver out of this fairly free.
Ooh. Fuzzface and Larson taking shots. Kingwin in trouble here on the boats. They are going to have to avoid the coastline. It's Team Blank again. It's Team Blank they're running into. They're taking the shots on them. MBS has landed the headshot on Ibiza. Ibiza goes down. And now Larson's having to duck it out. Fuzzface off the side. This is all going wrong. And remember, Kingwin, they need a good finish in this round.
And you can see that Larson is just getting abandoned. They don't have any choice inside this. Now, one thing to note is the fact that Kingwin did manage to secure a lot of boats. And that's a denial of resources from the other squads. Sure, they did take a casualty inside of this, but a lot of squads are now going to have to potentially swim over this if they don't find any safe pathing to come through. Fuzzface is making landfall, but he's made landfall in line of sight of another squad. Bullets are starting to come out towards him, and he's just trying to run over towards the tree line.
Oh, it's G2.
Leighton also makes landfall and is trying to run over there.
It's G2 taking the shots. They've got themselves set up as well. You can see coming in behind him. They're going to get themselves just about in there. Leighton getting up. There is actually a crate just off to the side of them as well, which has MK14 in it and a bunch of 8x scopes, as well as level 3 helmets. So where they go for that, Larson is going to crawl his way in. Let's have a look at the rest of the rotations. I mean, I know you guys like the camera panned out as much as possible, so let me try and show you as the action happens. There's a bunch of boats coming down. I think they're coming from Kameshki. I think they've been coming from Kameshki. I think that's the guys that are all the way up there. Looking at Georgipol, though, these are the guys that were still fighting. D-Man, they have so far to run.
But Maria did manage to get a vehicle, so they're doing a little bit of looting, trying to find potentially some more meds since they know that they're stuck in the blue. Got Cudtastic that's about to make landfall inside the circle. We do have those guys over next to Kamishki that you were talking about playing inside the boat. It'll be real interesting to see how they choose to come inside the circle, given how much water is still here. Usually a lot of squads like to come to the bottom side of Military Base Island, and come to that really southern section of it where you can see that Articus is kind of positioned right now. Also over where Grim Fandango and the rest of his team. These are both very solid position points. Now, really going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. And here we go. We've got our next circle up and active, and it does look like it is leaning a little bit more towards the southern side of Sosnovka Island.
Yeah, and there's a crate landing right there, right in the middle. So it's a case of, I think everybody's going to start trying to get the coastline rather than being in and around Sosnovka. It is a very exposed area. Waco, though, and the whole of G2 are just going in. They're just going in. Remember they lost Velen early on? They're just going to get straight in there on the edge buildings of Sosnovka, the military base. So they're going to take over that compound, and so far it's worked out well for them. Actually, as I say that, Team Blank is coming right in behind them.
Well, on the other side of that earlier bridge camp that we saw on the eastern side just got torn to shreds. As you can see, the kill feed getting lit up by exotics. They just did a strong push in there and secured that level 3-level building. So multiple vehicles all positioning out, and it does look like we're starting to see a little bit of a push coming out as Illness and his team are coming back over next to Super Fresh Clayton. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this. If they opt into pushing down now, if they feel that they're strong enough, I think they're kind of in a spot where they feel that they have to commit now. But a nice positioning coming out. I like the little C shape that they're making in their maneuvering, making sure that they have different lines, different fire sites that they can take.
Larson's on the crate. Let's see. Military helmet. Yes. Is he going to take the MK14? Nope. No, thank you. Doesn't want it. Going to stick with the shotgun and the... what else he got in the back? Is it a SCAR? Looks like a SCAR.
The MK14, a lot of people go back and forth on. Like, some people absolutely love it, and other ones kind of go, nah.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Rich. I thought it was just me. I'm not a fan of it, but he was like, absolutely love that thing. It's amazing. I was like, I just can't get on with it.
Oh, and here we go. We do have a push coming out now. As it looks like it's going to be over next to... A lot of people call this like the General's Manor and stuff like that next to military base. See, G2 is starting to get aggressed on as Pybus is actually pushing into the same building Tyrone is at. They're right next to each other right now.
It's yeah, it's Blank that's pushing in. Team Blank, they had them eyed up already. So Steve that's in there is going to get pushed through the door. As if it's a stack in the doorways. They do finally push Steve down. Fantasy's going to try and come in to help out. But Steven has been downed. Weko around the side.
Clayton
like
came all
Fantasy's...
the way around the outside, though, and he's going to come onto the backside, the same door that they entered from, potentially get some free shots in, and yes, does manage to get it down on that.
Yeah, MBS is going to push out. Going to get the shots in the back. The Micro Uzi does down him, but Weko comes back around the side. Waco's so low. He's got the shots, and Weko gets taken down, and that is G2 out. Team Blank take down G2. Now, it's a... I would say a pretty high, low finish, sorry, whichever you prefer to call it. That's probably 12th place, I would say. Maybe even 13th or 14th. But they do have the points from the earlier rounds and 38 kills from previous rounds as well. So it should keep them in good contention. But that is a big boon for Team Blank.
Well, it pretty much opens up the top now. We've seen that G2 has been very strong in controlling the first 2 rounds. Now that they're down and out, that really opens up the potential for those high-tier points coming back in, specifically for these squads that are so desperately needing them right now. And you can see that everybody's starting to actually move towards military base proper itself. I really like to see how different squads choose where they want to come into here. Like, I myself really love the oil barrel area, but it looks like we see some people that are posting up around the barracks. Some other guys have taken over, like, the satellite tower or the UAZ tower. Different people call it different stuff. What's your favorite part of military base if you're going to end up posting up a late game over here?
Honestly, I'm not a fan of the entire island. No, honestly, I was watching, obviously, Havu, the first round we had yesterday. They occupied, and I can see there's a squad doing it, actually. Occupied not in, oh, they're inside. Okay, they're inside the hangar. Occupied the top of the hangar. I feel that's a really nice spot. And at the moment, circle-wise, it's looking like it's going to... It could go plumb central, so they're pretty much central. Like that top of those hangars, the areas or caves or whatever you prefer to call them, has a lot of rock coverage in there, so you can kind of get a good 360 location as long as your team is good at swiveling.
Now, I did want to point out that D-Man and Zuthka, I think is how you say that, they are still,
they're still going.
running towards the circle at this point. This has just been a trek for them, and I'm so terrified that the moment they're finally going to make it in the circle, somebody's just going to turn around and pop them. But their squad members are doing a good job of securing some footholds in front of them. Now, also, Andy Croonan was one of the guys that got into a fight with them. He's kind of stuck in the water right now, and it looks like they're going to end up next to each other again.
Yeah, he's going to come out the back. Oh, shots. Roscoe's team. Well, okay, these are the guys that finished second in the first round. They have themselves the radar tower or hangar or whatever you call it, traffic control, you can all sorts of names. They're taking shots on the guys that were over in the hangar. Roscoe was the man with the SKS, remember, that caused so many problems for Kingwin.
Well, with the guys that are set up inside the hangar, where we're coming in here with Frostor and Chunkandoodle, usually whenever you take the hangar, you want to have some type of vehicle that you can put in front of it, like maybe a Dacia or a UAZ. These guys all came over with just like buggies and motorcycles, so they don't have anything that they can really put in front of them, which is going to allow Roscoe's team just to have a clear line of sight inside the hangar itself. So that's how come they're all pressed up against those outer walls, just hoping nobody can really see them. So they're kind of in a little bit of a tough spot, specifically the moment that they ever have to leave here. Everybody that's posted up in that satellite tower is just going to be able to fire back on.
So here's the next circle, and look at Articus. They are bang central of it. It has really, it's going to force everybody to move. Just about every single team is going to have to move, barring maybe the one that's on the coastline right now, which I'm going to look down at. They are in the water. Are they going to pop out on the ridges? They're right next to the rocks. No, they got nowhere to go. They're just going to sit on that coastline and ride it out. Anti-Kurunan's just gone down to Daiki. Oh, bless him, he's dead. Okay, here we go. Here's the rotations happening.
And this is where we're seeing everybody doing their hard press back over into the circle. You can see Pac-Man, the rest of his squad, just loaded up into vehicles, hard pushing through, really solid, quick maneuvering coming out of them, so they're aware of that. And oh, D-Man dies to the circle. He's gotten knocked down out there. I think this is going to be it for him. I don't think that they're going to be able to make it. It's just too far. They still have about 1.5 kilometers to go.
Yeah, Zatuka, I think he just had one more health pack. Oh, look at that. He's going to get to D-Man. So is he going to try and revive him? Is he really going to do that? I don't know. Don't know if that's going to work. Fuzzface Leighton there taking shots. Kinguin. Let's have a look over there as a bike just gets slammed straight into it. Larson killed Fuzzface with the vehicle explosion. So Theatre of Mayhem meeting straight in to Kinguin. Around the barrels area, this is a really horrible coverage area.
Well, it has some strengths depending on how you can play inside of it. You got a lot of nice sight lines. You can see that Leighton's doing a good job of playing where he's at. Larson just wants to reposition back to a safer spot. They just ran right up next to these people that are on these oil derricks over here. So they have a lot of control over it, and Larson's getting dipped so low, he barely makes it over to those oil barrels.
Where's he getting shot from? I mean, there's a multiple angles right now, isn't it? Leighton's covered off. Kinguin are in trouble here, right? I mean, they're inside the circle, but if the circle were to move further south, they got to run the gauntlet. They have to. I think these are the two. Yeah, these are the only two remaining for Kinguin. So Kinguin, bear in mind, they're what, 8th, I think, at the moment, 7th or 8th. Theatre of Mayhem in 7th. They are in a dangerous situation right now. Blackmane, is that the Blackmane? Is that the Blackmane? I wonder. It's with Kosier, it might be Blackmane. Well, if it is the same guy, he is a former Dignitas Call of Duty 4 player, pretty much one of the best players in the game for a long period of time. I don't know whether it is the same person or not. I have not followed his Twitter.
Well, we've got Larson, who's still in a rough spot, taking a lot of shots. I know that you talked about if it goes further south, they could be in some trouble. But you have to remember, there's a big fight that's happening off to the northwestern hill near them, where you can see that there is a full 4-man squad that's starting to push back down. We still have Maria and Tuka trying to push back down.
He found a bike! He found a bike! He's joined Mara! He's got back! Oh, and he's been knocked straight away! We knew it would happen! We knew it! Oh dear.
Right now, they're trying so hard just to make it to some level of safety. They are still on the outside. They have to push back in. And look at this. This hard push is coming down. Maria's in a world of hurt. But it's going to be really interesting to see where this 4-man squad comes out. And Maria at least getting a down back in return, saying, hey, I'm not going to go down without a fight. Now they've got to get the res up. The circle is coming into play. Where's the squad going to position to? Are they going to come up right back on the other side of Kinguin? If so, that's going to be just absolute catastrophe for them, as they're just going to have nowhere safe, because you can see Riches, while a solo is a little bit north of them, they've got a squad that's going to be to the east and then a squad that's going to be to the west, and just a wide open area for about 100, maybe 200 meters that they're going to have to run if they have to move south.
Well, Richie's going to try and sneak in, so he's just got himself some barrow cover just at the back side of Leighton and Larson. Let's have a look. Looks like Vix, yeah, they're going to use the wall, I think the military base wall, and just hug that for the moment. Let's have a look down the coastline. There is a beach battle going on, very much using that rock coverage. And there's a couple in the water, and they're taking shots at Puda up on the rocks. So these guys very much sitting on the rocks at the moment, Mr. Blue and Chew.
I really like this positioning. It does pay off usually pretty well, because you can just kind of follow these set of finger islands all the way back over to the land if you play it well. You can't really see it, but there's a lot of the sections of rock that are actually walkable, even though they are underwater. So it's a really strong position, all things considered. But with a circle given the where it's at, and oh, this is so great for Kinguin. They don't have to move, but a 4-man squad is pushing in towards them. You can see that Larson has people right on top of him right now.
Kosier, Blackmane, Ono the Great, they're all moving in. Ono manages to get the shot. It's Denzian in the end that takes the shot. Now Larson's going to go down. Now where's Leighton? Leighton all the way back, and he's the last man standing for Kinguin. He's getting shots from the backside as well. I think Richie's taking shots on him. It is Ono. These are all Con4 players, these guys.
This is a really rough spot for him. He doesn't have anywhere he can really move to. He's just kind of stuck inside of here. He has to maybe throw some grenades, use whatever tool he's got. Yeah, he's realized that. You can see he did a quick mouse over onto the grenades, saying maybe he should throw one of those out. Larson's trying to feed whatever information he can back over, saying, okay, they're moving to here, they're moving to there. Leighton's already down to about a third of his life. He's going to have to med back up. And Riches is really just having the ability to play spoiler on this, but not getting involved in the fight. He knows he's a solo. He just wants to
grenade.
He's quiet.
He's got to move. Oh, Leighton just about spotted that last second there. I think it was Ono lining up the grenade there, tossing it out. Larson still bleeding out. I don't think Leighton's got any chance to get to him. So smokes out, stops Riches taking the shots on him, and he's in a 1v4. There's a lot of shots still going on because Blackmane finished off Larson there. So Ono's on the flank. Larson, is he going to pop another smoke? I think he just did. Switches to the M4. Oh, it goes down by Ono. The flank comes in. And that is Kinguin down. And I think out. I think they are out of the Oakland qualifiers.
I think they just won't have the points ability to make it back in with that earlier position. And we have a lot of skirmishes happening. Look at what's going on around Articus's area over there. You can see that NBS and Velnus, they've actually secured a section of this. That little building complex is turned into a really rough neighborhood to live in, as it has 3 squads all posted up between 4 different buildings.
This is pretty chaotic. Okay, let's have a look around. I just saw Core and Co were having a big fight as well. Remember, Articus, they're in a very good situation. I think they were second already in the points. Crimson are moving. Tell a lie, it was Crimson, isn't it? It's Crimson that's second. Let's have a spin up into second place. Yeah, Team Crimson now, second place already at the moment. Puda and Thadu trying to come in. That's going to be Gaxi. Is this Team Blank? How did they get all the way over here? Okay, the UAs did in. I can see a stack of UAs out the back there, so they've come straight into there as well. Let's have a look. They're going to take the shots because obviously coming out of the blue, Puda and the dude, no chance there. Puda's just going to bleed out if the blue doesn't finish him off. A shot will, that's for sure. Velnus getting the shot there. Let's have a look around the circle. Ooh, look at that. It's going straight to Crimson. Crimson hugging the wall. It's not a lot of cover there, I've got to be honest. There's cover fire from the side, but there's just a little dip that they could make use of and go prone.
Well, that's what's so sneaky about this spot. Playing along this wall is actually pretty strong, all things considered. You have the ability to move fairly long distances along this wall.
Pony Rider
where
just
you can
got
go
down.
east and west. You just have to be really careful about how you make a move onto this. And yes, we are seeing a little bit of a fight as here we go. Everybody's starting to push over towards this. Those squads that were up towards the north that took down Kingwin now have to do that same push that we were talking about across that wide open field.
Well, Pony Rider down. Now look where the rest of the Theatre of Mayhem are. Metzen and Co have just moved up, so that grenade's going to... I think it's going to hit the mark. I think that vehicle is going to go blow. There we go. The nades coming in. The frag grenades. 1, 2, 3. And they are both going to get knocked. So that did not work, that push there. Metz is going to get taken down. So Crimson wiping them out. They did lose 2 members, but they're going to be able to get them back on their feet. So all good for them. Let's have a look around the kill feed. Continuing to go. They have Ono, the guys that just took out Kingwin. Kozier, Blackmane, Ono, and Smash Puss. I'm interested to see who that one is playing. But Kozier, wow, that's ballsy plays, pushing straight to the wing.
And that was good awareness from them. They saw that fight that was happening. They saw the downs and the gunfire exchange back and forth, the grenades. And they realized that that was their moment to push across that field. They've now managed to make it over towards the airplane, which means that gives them touching distance over towards that wall. And wow, look at this really ballsy play coming out right now. Just doing a run up, and they're going to get right up next to Crimson. This is like, what? He's coming up within 10 meters? Is he just going to stroll right up and try to shoot through them through this fence? Yes, he is, but he does get a secure on a T-bone and retreats back.
He's following the flank. He's going to flank straight around the side. He can just take down the whole of Crimson here. Law's going to pop up. He gets in straight back in there, and he will finally down him, but they are all so low. The rest of the team, are they going to try and push up with this flank? No, they just kept the distance. Kozier's going to back away. Blackmane's going to use the same position, the same cover to move in with that Kar 98. Top sniper that he was before. Law and Miraku just trying to get his teammate
actually
up.
pushing up as well. Here we go. But remember how many downs have come out for Crimson now. They've gotten down repeatedly over here. And here comes the push forward. As you can see, Blackman does manage to get a knockdown onto this. They're just repeatedly getting knocked and knocked and knocked. And now they've chosen to go on the other side of this UAZ, where this other squad should have a line of sight onto them.
They do. They're going to take the shots. There's the vehicle going up, and that is going to be the rest of Crimson. Just Miraku, the man standing. Richie's tried to push up around the side. He gets spotted out by Smash Pulse there in the end, so he takes him down. This circle, obviously, everybody going to have to move in now. The blue, they're just trying to get the position, and this is a great position by these guys. Shame they lost Kozier early on, but Blackmane has a great spot right now. Ono having to go for the reload. They've all got the Kar 98, so they're going to take these long-range shots because it's a big field they all have to push across.
Figure out how he's going to get out of here. He's trying to figure out where he's going to push from. Crimson's just oh so low right now. Miraku's trying to figure out where he's going to go. There's just nowhere safe. Whichever side he goes to, somebody can get line of sight on him. I think finally he's found a wall that he can just cower behind and hope that nobody sees him. And look, finally a little bit of fight is happening between these two other squads to give him a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, Pants is down. Let's see who else is on the distance there. It was it's Vix and Daiki. I think they're getting shots as well. Is Mr. Blue getting involved in this? I'm not too sure. I've been ignoring what's been going on down the side because obviously the house movement, there's been so many kills there. Looks like Team Blank Gaxi is down, and that is the end of it as MBS goes down. Blackmane just knocked Pants again, the second time he's been knocked down. Let's have a look across. Daiki and Vix, they've got their UAZ still ahead of them. that should be helping them out. Everybody else has to make this insane run across the open field, but these guys are fighting each other, so it's possible that someone could sneak in.
And everybody is starting to opt towards
Miraku
this wall.
down. Okay, that's the end of Crimson.
Yeah, there's not much other terrain that really can be played here, but it is so claimed at this direct point. Now we should talk about the squad that is actually posted on the northern side of it. We're having a whole bunch of little kills coming out on the southern side. Lennox has actually jumped into a UAZ, driving as fast as he can. A couple of people actually jumping into vehicles and just running straight into bullets. Looks like Wick and Nero actually do manage to find some level of safety, jump out of their vehicle. Mr. Blue is opting into doing the same thing, but he's actually inside the blue circle right now, living up to his name. And is he just going to push right over next to Wick and Nero?
Oh, he tried. He tried.
Try to at least get the run over. But now here we go. The next circle is up, and man, it is right along this wall. So I think it's really going to come down to these squads that are positioned up on opposite sides of it. Shooting back and forth between these chain link fences can be really, really annoying, though. As if you think that you have the shot, sometimes that little bit of metal can just catch it.
Well, they managed to get Frenzox back on his feet. And again, they still have, don't forget this slope. Let me go down into low level. You can see that Nero and Wick really don't have a great shot on these guys. Daki's got to be careful. He's actually peeking around, and he's ignoring the fact he is exposing himself. Now he's taking the shots over to Nero and Wick. And Blackmane, Ono, and Smashbus are looking very good right now. They have, honestly, they have the better position, but Blackmane just got downed.
The whole time this is going on, Nero and Wick are just getting no attention really thrown their way. So they're just firing out some shots here and there. Finally, now a little bit more attention getting fired over from Frenox and the rest of the team. This is all going to come down to this next 30 seconds.
They're moving up.
We can see that a res is going to come back up over there for Blackmane. So it's just a lot of damage that's gone through. At this point, I'm kind of curious, with all these downs and all this damage that's come back and forth, how much armor, how much meds did these guys have left for this last push with these 8 people still up and active?
Nero and Wick, they've got 10 seconds, and that blue on their backs is going to move, and it's going to move fast. They're going to have to get themselves up and running. Ono also just making sure that motorbike that was next to him gets exploded. Wick's making the move. Wick's coming in. They're going to get spotted. Blackmane looks across the side there. That's the Scar-L in work and the M4. And Nero's going to have to follow him through, but I think a third place is really the best they can hope for. I don't think Nero's got much of a chance. He's just going to try and ride out the blue while these guys have to fight each other. Smashbus and Blackmane, they have to move. Their cover is not in the circle. They're going to have to move up to the next area. Smashbus is so focused on taking those suppressed shots. He took a big chunk of damage there. Nero goes down in the blue. Now it's a 3-on-3.
And finally, they're moving to the other side of the wall, trying to position up, seeing if they can get any damage out. Oh, and Own the Great actually does get knocked down. So there's going to be another res that's coming back out. Smashbus is still playing with a very little amount of life, so kind of interesting to see how this is going out right now. This is just a base 3v3.
Oh, another knock.
Everybody cowering behind UAZs.
They're pushing, they're pushing. They're going for it. They've realized there's 2 down. Now is the time. Vic's on the full flank. Smashbus the only man standing at the moment. Ono's just got back up there. Daiki tries to push around the side. Smashbus down, and that is going to be the victory for those guys. Honestly, a pretty damn good finish there, I think, Matcham.
Very confident play coming out there. They got the 2 downs, and they're like, this is our time. This is our opportunity. Push before they can get the reses. Push before they can get the meds off. Just good game awareness coming out there. And a really strong push, all things considered. Solid aim coming out. And they managed to come out of this with a pretty hefty amount of kills, all things said. Now, that being said, it's all going to come down to who got points inside of this round. This has been a group of death. We talked about it very early. But look at this. We can see that Kingwin comes in down over here at, what is this? Scrolling back over through off to the side. Did they manage to even secure? They didn't get any even in a top 5 position, so that's going to be really rough for them. Some of the higher guys that were getting first and second in the earlier rounds actually did a later fall off inside of this. So I'm really kind of curious to see what's going to happen for this group and who's going to move on to the finals.
So, I can confirm they were the COD 4 guys. I've just looked at their team. It is Team Dominators. And you know what? That second place may have just pushed them right up there. Let's have a look. They were in 10th place with 230 points. Now, they just got second, which... and how many kills did they have in there? It wasn't a great amount of kills. 6, 7, 8, 9. They were already at 230 points, so we'll see how much that pushes them up. That was Mark, Ono, so Smashbus was Mark, okay. So Dignitas, Mark. These guys were former Dignitas players in Call of Duty 4 Pro Mod. Actually various, I don't think Kozier and Ono were in different teams, but it was indeed Blackmane as well. But we should talk about the impact of it all, because Team Kinguin, as far as we know, are out. I don't think they have enough points. They were only on 270 points, they were in 8th place, and all they got in this game, because they got took out fairly I would say fairly early on. Let's have a look. They are way, way down.
15th place with no kills.
That is them out of there. They are gone. And that's a shame. That's a shame, honestly. I was rooting for them yesterday because they were so good yesterday, but today's just not been their day.
Now, one of the big ones that we should probably be taking a glance at is what's going to be happening with Theater of Mayhem as well.
They are gone as well. They were 11th, and they were 7th place before that. I don't think these guys have got enough points.
I don't think so either. That's going to really crack open the top of this. Really going to open up to see who's going to actually secure anything. Naturally, G2 are sitting on a very hefty amount of points. They had about a 400-point lead on top of everybody else. But with these new squads kind of coming up and really netting a lot of points inside of here, with how close it is, because if you look at the points brackets, naturally we have G2 that was at 980 coming into this. We have Crimson, who had another solid finish inside of here with 530. But then it's like 365 to, about 200 between, 3rd and 12th place. So about 150 points separating everybody out. And with the heavy leaning towards kills, and with the heavy leaning towards just finishing better, and a higher standing, you can really overturn that 150 points very, very quickly.
Right, I've been told that all of the results are up, so I'm gonna dare refresh. My internet is pretty awful, so it might be down for you to help me through this one. It does mean that the points should all be updated, so if we can get a refresh on that. Mine is not working, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to rely on you here, Matcham, to tell us exactly who is gonna get through. It's gonna be the top 5 from each group. Oh, I've got it. It's loaded. It's loaded. Oh my God, PogChamp. And speaking of PogChamp, Team PogChamp finish top of group number 1. From what I can tell, if that is complete points updated, I can't tell. That looks like there's only maybe one.
That looks like there's only 2 inside of there. From what I'm still seeing. I haven't seen an update onto the website.
Let's have a look at group 2. Okay, Group 2 is updated. Group 2 is definitely updated. G2 with 980 points in first place. Team Crimson second place with 530. Paradise Crew in third place. So they managed to get third place in the end. Their Paradise Crew, the French organization. That was Roscoe, Pac-Man and Co. Remember they got the second place finish in the first round we watched?
I think that this one is still... I don't think this one's updated either, because this is the exact same listing with
980 points. Really?
Yeah. Well, they had 2.
Oh, it is. You're right. 38 kills. Yeah. They did have that in the first game. You are correct. So that is not updated. It says it told me they were all updated. And apparently the website's choking on me.
Alas. It's all the attention. And by the way, we just want to give a shout out to everybody that's been playing inside of this so far. We know that everybody had high hopes to make it into the finals, but we've had so many teams and so many players coming through really trying to qualify for the Oakland event. We just want to give a big shout out to everybody and make sure that you continue trying. Even if you don't make it into the finals, just keep on going for it. We saw a lot of great teams and a lot of great players over the past.
I mean, it's so early days for PUBG. I mean, the esports is only just beginning to happen because of the sheer popularity and the sheer hunger, I think, from the community. So let's talk about Group 1, because this has updated now. Avangar finishing top there, a mix of Russian and Ukrainians. Managing to get themselves first place finish, 805 points, 29 kills. Havu, they've got it through. They are in second place, 795 points for them. Obviously, that's Encelenso and Crew, who did impressively well yesterday. Obviously, I've been watching them do very well in Alzheimer, etc., and the PUBG Online tournaments. Team PogChamp, they do get themselves in third place, and that means also No Loot Gaming have managed to wriggle their way through in fourth place, so NLG getting in there. And Wizard Esports Club, we saw them picking up a victory yesterday on the stream, but it does mean that Loot Goblins just about miss out in 6th place. So that's Group 1.
I'm still waiting for an update. Mine doesn't love me yet.
All right.
I think I finally got the update onto it, so I don't know if, again, I don't think that Group 2 is updated for me. Has it updated for you yet?
No, it's the sites. You know, my internet is so wishy-washy at the moment. It's horrific. But I have been told the website is updated. It's just I can't get it. Group 1's definitely done. Group 2 is just not opening for me at all at the moment.
Let's go take a quick glance at Group 3 and see if maybe some of the other ones have updated. They look, mine's still showing 600 points for most of the teams. I just don't think that that's where we would finish at. Not with as many kills as we're seeing coming out.
I'll be out again.
But I'm really curious to see how Against All Authority is going to be faring inside of
Group 4, yeah.
Inside of Group 4. And additionally, inside of Group 3, that one's kind of wide out and in the open. Just with how close everybody is, you can see that from round 2, everybody was within about 150 points of first place. I mean, we saw G2 be very, very dominant inside of the Group 2 section. So they managed to get ahead with, like I said, about 400 points ahead of everybody else before moving into Game 3. So even with a fairly rough showing, they're probably still at least in second place.
Just trying to see if the admin can do the screenshots for me. If he's got it updated, we're struggling to get the vision of it.
But now what we should probably talk about is what's coming next. Is that we do have a best of 5 that's going to be coming through, and this best of 5 is going to be the end-all, be-all. It's going to be 5 different teams from each one of these 4 groups coming through, so 20 teams altogether, and the top 4 teams from this best of 5 move on to Oakland. And I know that everybody has been really, really excited about this. This has been the topic of conversation inside of the competitive scene since this event was announced. Everybody was like, okay, how do we qualify? How do we get in? And so many teams are playing for it. So I'm really excited to see which 4 teams are really going to secure that, because I'll be honest, D-Man, we've been seeing some out of the blue teams coming through really performing in the past 2 days. I really want to see how this could really shake up the meta, really see like who could potentially be getting signed off of some of their performances, because we've seen a lot of teams that are unsigned performing really, really well moving into this event.
Well, I think since we can't get them to load, I guess we just go to a break. You guys at home, I will post the link in chat. Obviously, you guys are still 15 minutes behind. There you go. I can see that. Actually, it's still putting the North American ones up there. I will post them when I can see the game finishes. That's what I'll do. So we'll wait for the game to finish. Obviously, there is a 15-minute delay for you guys at home. But when we come back, it's time to move into the finals. It's going to be a best of 5. It is going to be absolutely epic, and I believe it's about an hour and a half away before it begins. So, Matchim, you can go get yourself a deserved little break, because I know you were up at like 5 a.m. this morning to join us for this one.
Hey, the sun is finally up where I'm at.
Yeah, it's crazy early. It's going to be a crazy late one for me. I'm probably going to be up till about 5 a.m. at this rate, but we'll see how it goes. Guys, when we come back, it's going to be the finals time. Like I say, it's going to be about an hour and a half break, so feel free to go and stretch your legs and enjoy. If there's sunshine outside, I know it's a bit dark and dank here, so it's not so much sunshine, but go enjoy the outsides for an hour and then join us for the finals.